There's always someone in charge, no matter the place. It could be the workplace, a boxing gym. Someone is in charge, and that is normally the head coach. And with that said, we're going to be discussing the ring boss today, which is normally the head coach. When it comes to sparring, for all the logical reasons, it is wise, recommended, and highly advisable that there be a minimum of one coach in the gym and at the ring during the sparring. And this is for many reasons, many of them logical reasons, but uttermost and number one, for safety. You see, there's times when, let's say, a boxer might be taking too many shots to the head. And we know fighters are tough. They will never admit they're hurt. But it might be wise to pull that guy out the ring for a round or two to allow him to collect himself, even if he does not want to. Black, stop going to the corner all the time, all right? Yeah. Don't be too stiff on your approach, Al. Be a little flexible up top. Okay. There you go. There you go. Don't give him no solid target to hit. Good push. Yeah, yeah. You're starting to menace with that jab. There you go. Yeah. What you got, Black? Don't be sitting in that corner too long, man. If you're in that corner, you're ready to work, right? There you go. You're ready to work and you're in that corner. If you go to that next corner, you're ready to work, right? Yeah. Safety is very important when it comes to boxing and sparring, as we all know. Sparring, one of the most demanding and necessary activities of the gym, without a doubt. And to further it, let's say there's only one thing a boxer can do to prepare for an upcoming fight. Sparring would have to be that one and only thing, because it will suffice greatly. It is the closest thing to what he'll be doing on fight day. Yes, bag work is good, mitt work is great, rope skipping, running, everything that needs to be done. But like I said, if they're all going to be eliminated and there's only be one task to prepare the fighter, it must be sparring. That's how important sparring is. So anyway, the ring boss. A good coach does not necessarily have to be shouting orders and bellowing commands as his boxer spars. A good coach must realize this is the time for the boxer to put in the work, to demonstrate all the things you've worked on him with on the floor, techniques, and so forth. Now, with a constant command yelling coach, he does not give the boxer the time to use the boxer's own mind in the ring. Coach wants him to do something very specific and particular to what the coaches see. But you have to keep in mind, the coach's view from outside the ring is a very luxurious view. It is quite obvious he's not under stress and duress. It is quite obvious that what he sees might, and most times are, totally different from what the boxer sees inside the ring. I myself, over a period of time, decided a long time ago that I would not be that type of coach, to be overbearing, yelling commands. I have to let the boxer work. Each time a coach must lay back, observe with a watchful eye, but also let the boxer use his own mind in the ring. As far as pairing the two fighters to spar, there's a lot goes into this besides just two guys jumping in the ring. There's a lot of things to consider. The experience of the fighters, to the best of your possibility, should be matched close together, depending on the objectives of your spar on that day. But normally, you don't want to put a noob in there with an experienced fighter. I said normally. There are times when this works great because the experienced fighter understands he's got way more experience and is better than this noob. So he's going to work with the noob to help him out. And if you're not familiar with the term work when it comes to sparring, that means he's going to hit you. He's going to avoid being hit. But due to his advanced experience, he will not be exploiting you in the ring. He will work with you, allow you to do certain things so you can learn. Age must be considered when pairing your boxers for sparring greatly. And a whole lot of other things, body weight, etc., etc. But keep in mind, gym sparring is not a sanctioned fight, so it does not have to be an exact art. The two fighters does not need to have 100% the same experience. The two fighters does not need to weigh 100% the same body weight. These are just guidelines to keep the ring healthy and the activity in the ring healthy. Unfortunately, there's another reason. From my own personal experience, I believe a coach should always be present and at the ring during the spar. Unfortunately, there's times when things get heated in the ring. A boxer might lose his cool. Who knows? There needs to be someone there to control that before it gets out of hand. I've had several occasions with a particular boxer losing his cool in the ring and things getting out of hand. And without a coach there to control this, it could have been bad or worse. Just keep that in mind. The ring boss is that guy. He controls everything in the ring. There's also times when you might not allow a boxer to spar because maybe previous sparrings he took too many headshots. And out of safety, once again, we're going to turn that guy off for a week at a minimum. My normal rule, depending on the impact you take in sparring to the head, if it is severe enough, you will not spar for a week. And no boxer really wants to hear this, but it's the nature of the beast and is part of your responsibility of a coach, incidental or not, to ensure the safety of yourself and the fighters in all aspects. I myself prefer to sit on the apron outside of the ring. I've seen many gyms and videos where there's a guy, not even certain if he's a coach, attempting to play referee in the ring while the boxers are sparring. And although I understand the concept, I don't believe there needs to be a coach inside the ring as the boxers spar. He gets in the way. And there's times, like I said, the fighters need to work on their own. The fighters need to learn how to break themselves from a clinch or entanglement without the coach inside the ring saying break. Now, don't get me wrong, there will be a referee in the ring during their fight. But I'm talking about gym sparring. gloves and or equipment, but primarily gloves. Once again, it's very advisable that you check your opponent's gloves before the spar. A lot of gyms, coaches, and boxers don't understand that the gloves have to be in great quality condition, must be of the appropriate weight for sparring, which on average is 16 ounces. And the overall appearance of the gloves must be worthy of the ring. I've had individuals come from other gyms to spar my fighters, and they're wearing those blue, old-ass Everlast gloves that were sold at Big Five sporting goods that have been used on the bags and mitts and everything else for years. And when I mentioned, hey, we can't use those gloves, they didn't get the concept. Most likely because their coach was not safety minded. You have to remember the great responsibility that falls under being a coach. You're an overseer. You're a health advisor. You're a safety conductor. And your ultimate goal is to have the boxers enter the ring to spar and leave the ring with more knowledge than prior, without injuries. Appropriate headgear. Now, we all know there's many types of headgears. Open face, cheek, Mexican style, face savers, etc. I do believe to protect the face even further, especially when you're first beginning, one should use the face saver headgear. It actually prevents actual physical contact with the glove and the facial features, especially the nose. If you like the position your nose is in, you might want to keep it in that location. Does anyone win a sparring match? It's an old debate. I've been asked many times, Coach, who won that spar or that round? And normally there is one boxer getting the best of another, but I don't think it's a win and loss situation when it comes to sparring, because both parties should win. Both parties should gain experience. Both parties should learn. So it's a win-win situation. I will admit, though, there are times, let's say, a boxer has an upcoming fight. He now has to go a little harder in the ring than normal to prepare himself mentally and physically. So if this boxer normally work with noobs, that can't happen during sparring for a real fight. He needs somebody who's going to strike him back and give him the actual work he needs. Calling commands in the ring. Once again, the overbearing coach that just keeps yelling commands and controlling the fighter during the spar, he does the same thing at the real events. And once again, the coach's view from the outside is a very luxurious view. He sees everything perfect and how it should occur. But this is not the true nature inside the ring. The boxer has a total different view. Now, I'm not saying a coach should be quiet, because there are times when that luxurious view from the outside will assist and aid the fighter on the inside. What I'm talking about is the overbearing, never shutting up, always yelling commands at the boxer. I also think there's times when the coach needs to be creative with the sparring and further control it as far as techniques and things that need to be worked on. For example, maybe a boxer get hits too easily. Instead of a normal spar, maybe I will have boxer A play a certain role and boxer B play a certain role to enhance his defense and prevent some of those strikes from occurring. Cardio and stamina. As we all know, of all the things you can do in boxing training, that sparring is going to drain you. tire you out more than anything else. And a lot of it has to do with the mentality and psychological aspects as opposed to the physical aspects. But while we're on the subject, if you find your boxers getting tired frequent and often during sparring, maybe they're trying too hard, quite possibly, or maybe you, the coach, need to provide your boxers with better exercises, better cardiovascular training, and things of that nature. It takes more than boxing training to be a good boxer. Let's not forget one of the most important things in boxing: the common respect, the mutual respect between coaches, boxers, and the other boxers. For example, when another team, gym, or boxers come to our gym to spar, quite obviously we must represent greater. It's our gym. They're coming to our gym. Now, I'm not saying being rude, but it's the nature of the beast once again. No one comes into our house and our ring without tasting the leather. And I'm sure when we go to their gym, it will be returned in the same manner. It's funny that most people and what they think of this boxing. I've been presented with this question many times. How can people go to the gym daily and look forward to being hit about the head and body? I don't have a specific answer for that, but I will tell you. If you're into boxing and love boxing, you don't look at it that way. It's fun. It's great. It's exhilarating. And you've already come to the terms that you will be hit. Every boxer is hit. I've never known a boxer to not get hit. No matter how good his defense and his technical boxing is, you will get hit. The sooner you come to terms with this, the better. You can now move on and focus on your boxing without being apprehensive and worried about being hit. So in closing, there needs to be a coach, a controller, a ring boss attending to the ring at all spars in the gym. Like I said, for all the obvious reasons, but primarily for safety. He who controls the ring controls the gym.